Yo, what's up guys? It's me. It's been a while and I finally bring you guys another tutorial. Um, it's just it's been 2 years, right? Like 2 years and I said I was gonna make another tutorial. Um, but it's gonna be a beginner tutorial, an actual beginner tutorial on just the basics of how to make a video in Sony Vegas. Um, just a quick things I should have, like my other tutorial, I should have timestamps of like chapters, I guess, in the tutorial, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Another thing is this channel will only be tutorials from now on. I made another channel for my skits and stuff, and then I made another channel for gaming and stuff, but this channel is only for tutorials because all of my subs are, I'd say 80% of my subs are from the tutorial I did. Not even 80, like honestly, like yeah, like 70. But like I guess 90% of my viewership is from the tutorial. So I'm going on too long, but yeah, this is a tutorial, a beginner tutorial on just the basics of how to make a video in Sony Vegas. Tell me what you guys want to see next in a tutorial, and I promise I'll actually make it this time, not like last time. And if you guys, yeah, just comment down. Um, Leave a like if you subscribe, because no one says that, and sub if you subscribe, because no one says that. But I'm kind of need your subscribers, so cool, awesome. Here's the tutorial. Peace out. Yo, what's up, guys? It's me again. I'm back, and I know it's been like 2 years since a tutorial, but yeah, I'm back. Yeah. So, anyways, this is a really beginner tutorial. It's just gonna show you um, how to pretty much edit a general video in Sony Vegas, and pretty much the basics of Sony Vegas, and like how everything works and everything. I'm not gonna get too in detail. It's just what you guys need to do just to get through. Anyways, so this is how it's gonna look right when you open up Vegas. If you don't know what Sony Vegas is, it's a, well, you probably do because you're watching this, but you know what it is. It's a video editing program. Um, when you start, when you open it up first, it's gonna look like this. You can go. What a lot of people like to do, they like to go to File New, and then they have different settings for their project, and the project is, I guess it's hard to explain. It's like the project is like the project. I don't want to confuse you. So this is your project. You'd have different. It depends on your video, the type of video you're gonna do. You'd have different project settings. If like you're gonna make a Vine, or like a Vine, or like a YouTube video, you're gonna have different project settings. So I'm just gonna have my project settings here. I always like to start all project new settings with these, but it just depends on the type of video you're gonna do. So this would it start when it open up. So you'd have your clips that you want to edit and either put together or make a video or anything. I have them right. I don't have them right here. Hold on. I gotta find them. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So these are the clips I want to edit right here. Let me delete some of this stuff, because I already did this tutorial before, but I had to do it again. So I have two SpongeBob clips right here, right? To import them, there's a bunch of ways you can do it. The easiest way I like to do it is I just like to highlight them and then drag them in onto the timeline. So this will pop up saying, do you want set your project video settings to match the media? I always say no because I have special project settings. You can say yes if it really doesn't matter to you. But here's the thing. So if it doesn't let you do that, there's two things that could go wrong. You don't have administrator. You're not the administrator on your computer, so it doesn't let you drag things into Vegas. Another thing is the video isn't supported by Vegas, so the video type isn't supported by Vegas. So I have this video right here called Can't Open, because I'll show you. So I'm gonna do the same thing and drag it, and it won't let me drag it in here. You can try, if it doesn't let you do that, if you can't drag it in, you could also go to File, Open, and then find the directory, or you can go just click here and click Import Media. It'll import it in this. So this right here is your project media. So everything in your project, so everything in Sony Vegas right now would be in here. It won't be on the timeline unless you put it on the timeline, but it will be in here just for safekeeping. So you could try import media right here, and go to your directory, and this is my directory. It's in this folder, and you can open up these, and you can I'll open up the song just to show you guys. So I opened up the song, but as you see, it's not in the timeline. It's just in the project media. But if you see, if it still doesn't let you, so can't open, it'll give me an error. Watch. Yeah, see, an error occurred while opening one or more files. So if dragging in doesn't work and this doesn't work, then it probably is the format of the video. It's not supported, so you either have to like convert it, or like search up on YouTube how to convert video, or if you have like another editing program. I don't know why you need to look at Vegas, but if you do, then put it in there and re-render it as something else. So anyway, so now you have your clips in here. Something I forgot to mention is wow, this is I don't want to get off track, but your area. So let me pretty much restart over. I'm just gonna delete these. So this is your preview area, right? Correct. This is your preview. This is where everything on the timeline that you're looking at right there, it will show you a preview right here. This is your project media right here. So this is your media in here. Everything that you put in Sony Vegas will be right here. These are your transitions. I'll explain that later. Then your video effects, I'll explain how to use those later. Then your media generators, I'll explain how to use those later. If you don't have any of these are just the typical ones I like to use. If you don't have any of these, you could always go to View, then go to Window, and then just click one of these. I see I have all these check marked: video effects, media generators, transitions, project media, video preview. Yeah, I'll explain. You might face some errors or like some problems later on when you're editing. I'll explain how to fix the general ones later on in the video. So I'm just gonna put these two clips down in the timeline. Oh, I'll click no. You could double click, or you can drag. I like the dragging. Something you need to know about Sony Vegas is every time you put a clip in here, always right click, go to properties, and then disable resample on every clip you put in here. That is because so just to show you, I didn't do it on this one. I didn't disable resample, so you kind of see like a ghosting effect, right? So by every frame, like look, so there's ghosting, like you see what I'm saying, right? There's ghosting, and then no ghosting, and then go one frame, and then there's a little bit of ghosting. That just disable resampling, it just takes that away. It just like puts it. I would just say it just takes that away. It just looks overall better after you render it and everything. Okay, so you have your clips in here, and now you want to make a video and whatnot. You can play the clip by pressing spacebar or this button right here.
You here for your pre-lunch Krabby Patty?
I'm getting two today.
Hilarious, awesome jokes. You could also click here, press play. If you're having trouble playing, I recommend going up here to where it says best full, and then changing this to preview auto. And all it does is it changes the resolution of your preview. It just changes the resolution of your preview to something smaller, so your computer can handle it more, if that makes sense. So it's easier to play. If you're still having trouble playing, you could go one down and go to draft auto. It just look really blurry. Or you could preview like a segment of it, and this actually it's like a RAM preview it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm moving my cursor to the timeline or anywhere, and I'm just left clicking and then holding, and then you see there's like a blue highlighted part with these two right here. This is pretty much a preview part, and it does something else later on I'll tell you. So with this highlighted, you just want to press Shift B, and then it'll go and then like analyze all the frames it can, and it'll preview of what it can do at that time. This only I only recommend doing this if your computer can't handle like watching the regular version, or once you start putting a lot of effects on it and start doing a lot of things with it, you're gonna really want to do this because it's too much for your computer to keep up, especially with the preview. Okay, so let's just say I'm making a video. I don't want, let's just say I don't want this whole clip in here. I just want some of it. I just want this beginning part.
For my friend.
Oh, have I met this friend?
You know me, SpongeBob.
Okay, just say I want the start of this into here. So a thing I could do is press S on my keyboard, and then that will split the clip. Now what this does is pretty much it makes this whole clip into two. So now I have this clip where I split it at, and now I have the rest of the clip. Now since I don't need the rest of the clip, I can either right click and delete it, or I can just press delete on my keyboard and it'll delete it. But don't worry, because you have the whole clip still up here in your preview. Now so the clip I just cut and left it on here would be this.
You here for your pre-lunch Krabby Patty?
I'm getting 2 today. 1 for me, and 1 for my friend.
Oh, have I met this friend?
You know me, SpongeBob.
Okay, funny jokes. Yeah. So that's pretty much cutting a clip, and that's just only getting a part of it. Now say you messed up and you said, oh no, I deleted stuff, I actually wanted more of the clip and then that. Well, so what you can do is, so from the end, instead of dragging this all the way down and redoing it, from the end of this clip, you can move your cursor to the end, and then this comes up. It says trim event end. So what you want to do is, what this does, it will make it longer. So I'll show you. So I'm going to left click and hold, and then move it along to the right. And what it did is make it longer. So it doesn't finish here anymore. It finishes over here. So, and it's an original clip. So I can play it from here,
Enjoy, Patrick.
and it'll be the rest of the clip until where I went. I'm just going to redo that. So see, this is the original, and then obviously if I do this, it'll be longer and finishes here. So that's another thing. You can also do that on the other side. Let's say let's say I didn't want this part, so I can either cut it. I don't want this part until he says something like two whatever Krabby Patties. So I could either cut it like this with S on my keyboard, or I can just drag it all the way over here to my cursor. And now Patrick just, that's where the clip starts, is where Patrick says, I'm getting 2 today.
I'm getting 2 today.
And then you could do it on the other side saying, oh no, I actually wanted a little bit more of that. You can go move your cursor to the beginning, and it says trim event start now, because now it's at the start. Then left click, then move to the right, and then you can elongate it however it wants. Now since this is the beginning of the whole clip, of this whole clip, you obviously can't go beginning of what this is, so I can't go past it because it's where it started. So you'll see these indentations, and this is where the clip started, and this is where the clip started, and you can't go past it. If you go past it, it's just gonna go from the clip's ending point, if that makes sense. So this is the end of the clip over here, but it's just in the beginning because I went past it. So this is our first clip. I'm going to put that over here in the beginning of the timeline. It doesn't make a sense because you could render any part of your timeline. I just like it because it's over here. I don't know, I just like it. So let me find another clip I could use over here and cut it. Actually, I'm gonna use that part. So I'm gonna go, since I don't want, I'm picky, I'm a really picky person, and I don't want this frame to be in my video. So I could either use my the arrow keys on my keypad, or if you want to be really precise, you can use these, and these will move 1 frame. So you see 079, now I'm 078. Wow, the arrows on my keypad, they're moving like, that's 10 frames right there. See? I just say I'm a stickler, and boom, that's the first frame. So I'm gonna cut it right there, split it, and then delete that part, and then I'm gonna go to the part where it says Pinhead Larry. And then delete this part. Okay, so now I have two separate clips. Okay, something I forgot to mention is markers, which what they do is pretty much set up a marker. I'll start explaining those in effects instead of splitting the clip. So yeah, sorry to confuse you. So now I have two different clips, right? I'm just gonna drag this to the left, and now I have two different clips. I have this one.
You here for your pre-lunch Krabby Patty?
Alright, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. Okay, so I have this one, and then I have this one.
All right, Pinhead, your time is up.
Who you calling Pinhead?
Okay, so if technically for making a video, you just want to put those together, because if you don't, there's gonna be black in it. So if I leave it like this, if you get what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. I just want to explain it. You see how there's black is because there's nothing in between. So make sure they're touching. I have snapping enabled, which is I don't want to confuse you, but I just like to have that enabled. It might help you. So as you can see, it goes from this clip and then jumps to this clip. A lot of people do that. You could do that if you want, but something I like to do. I'll get into transitions later. So now this is my video. So it starts from here and it ends here.
You here for your
Now something that makes it a little bit nicer is fading in and out. So if what that is it goes from like very visible to like black. So if I go to the end of this video, to the end of this clip, and I go up to like this blue marker, it says fade out offset. So I'm gonna left click and then move to the left a little bit, and you see how it got black? That is because it's fade. With this line right here, this is pretty much showing that the opacity is going from 100 and to 0. And what the opacity is it's pretty much the visibility of the clip. So if I go here with there's no fade, and I change the opacity, which is up here, there's 100, and then now it's at 41%. That's, you can see 41% of it. Like you can't see 41% of it, but it's 41% visible, and then now it's 6% visible, and then now it's 0, so you can't see it at all. So what the fade is pretty much doing is going from 100 to 0. So if you watch that, it's just it's a fade. That's what it is. It's a fade. I also like to do the sound because it just matches it. So that's what I like to do if you're making a video. I also like to do that with the beginning. It's just the same thing. Go to the top corner of it, and there's going to be a fade in offset, and just do the same thing, and it'll go from, now since this is the opposite, it's going to go from 0 to 100 as from the line shown. Yeah,
You here
see?
for your pre-lunch Krabby Patty? You here for your pre-lunch Krabby Patty?
I'm getting two today.
Okay.
All right.
And I taught you about the opacity, as you can see it, right? You got it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna cut this out. So next is the pan and crop. What do I got? Pan and crop. Okay, so a lot of things a lot of people do. Say this is say this is cropped weird. Say this is okay, don't mind what I'm doing right now, but just say hypothetically this looks like this, correct? And you don't want it. You want it to look like this.
For my
So what you can do,
beef.
it's not gonna work. Hold on. You can see what I did there. So if the regular clip looks like that, unchecking maintain aspect ratio, it'll pretty fit the whole screen. But it also keep in mind that it might make it squished, because look what I did. So you see how it's not squished, but it's and then now it gets like stretched, not squished, stretched. Just a little knowledge so you know. But some people may like this. It just might it just depends on what you like. But what I did here, what I actually made it look like that, is pan and crop. So if this is like you're zooming in, and you're zooming out stuff, you're twisting, turn. It does twisting, turning, and whatnot, but I'm just gonna I'm just gonna use zooming in and zooming out. So what Sony Vegas does, if you're familiar with After Effects, After Effects is all keyframes. I like to say Sony Vegas is like 70% keyframes. Not really 70. I would say like 50% keyframes, because it uses keyframes a lot. What a keyframe is I'm a create keyframe is this little guy, and what this is it's a set. How do I explain this? It's a set point of that effect. So if I at here, let me delete this. So at this point in time in the clip, I also when I'm editing and doing effects, I use I have this sync cruiser, because when I move it out here, it'll move in here. But also just check that. I like to do that. So let's just say I go here, and then I do this with the clip. I zoom it in super far. But I go back here, and then it's default, because this right here is pretty much your video screen. It's what you're viewing. So if I go here, this is what you're going to see. You're not going to see any of this. This is what you're going to see, if that makes sense. But keyframes is, since this keyframe is default to see the whole screen, and this keyframe is like this, everything in between right here is going to lead up to this turning this. So it'll look like this. That's going to take so long, but
You here for your pre-lunch Krabby Patty?
I'm getting 2 today. 1 for me and 1 for my
okay,
friend.
but you see how it did it?
have I met
The whole
this
time
man?
it was zooming in into this point of view, into this this box right here. Same thing is, you can, let's say I want to zoom out now. I can go to the end of the video, which would be right here, because I have the sync cruiser on, and then I want to zoom out to default. I could either zoom out, but usually Sony Vegas has a preset that you just click this little arrow and then click default. So now if I look at it, it'll go zoom in, and then it bounces and zooms out.
Oh, have I met this friend?
You know me, SpongeBob.
And that's pretty much pan and cropping. You can play with it more. You can play with it more. You can say, I want to turn this like sideways, so it'll go and start turning sideways.
Oh, have I met this friend?
You know
Yeah,
me,
so you can play with it
SpongeBob.
more. Usually the way you learn is by playing with things. Same with effects and everything. Another thing is that uses keyframes is effects. So say you want some crazy effects. Let's go to this clip, since this clip hasn't been touched. Let's say you want some crazy effects on your clip. Just the way I like to do it. Here, let's tell you some ways. Some ways other people do it. They will click this button right here. So there's two. So if you zoom in, which you can by using your scroll on your mouse, or by clicking this little button, or using the arrow keys, you'll see these two buttons, right? This is your pan crop, which I was just doing, the zoom in and zoom out. You see how it's highlighted here, because I do have some zooming in and zooming out. This is, and then right next to it is your effects. So if you click it, it'll bring up all your effects. These you won't have any of these right here, because I have plugins. You will usually only have you will only have the Sony ones, unless you have plugins. But if you do, then this tutorial is not for you. So if you have plugin, these are the only ones that you should have, is Sony Color Correct, all the Sony ones. And then here you can click you could click an effect and click add, and then click OK, and then it'll add that effect. But what I like to do is I like to go to video effects, and then it shows me all the effects I have. I like to see it because I like to see what the effect I'm putting on, just because I don't know all the names yet. But through time, like, you'll get to know which effect you want with the names and everything. So let's pick a pretty crazy effect that you can obviously tell it's an effect. Let's just add this this sparkle. Let's add this sparkle onto this clip. So the way I like to do it is just clicking this, or you don't have to click it, but I like to drag it and put it onto this, on onto where I'm trying to put it at. So now sponge is all sparkly, and that's the effect. With the effect, you can change the settings. You know, make it red. You could make this not as bright. Make the threshold super. It's just playing with the effects. Different effects have different settings. Different settings do different things for every effect. Now, if you want to if you want the effect to change, like say, see how it's like nothing, there's no effect right now, and then now there's crazy effect. If you want the video to start off with no effect and then go to an effect, you're gonna have to do a keyframe like I was explaining earlier. So the way to do it with the effects is there's two ways, and there's different ones for every effect. There's two ways to make it keyframeable, the effect, and it just depends on the effect. So this one, if there's an animate at the bottom, you're gonna want to click that, and it'll bring up a timeline like it did in the pan crop. And if I go to the beginning, that should be the beginning of the clip, and that'll be there. Oh, okay, let's go. Let's say, so now it's at the beginning because my cursor right here is at the beginning because I have this enabled, remember? So let's say I want at this point in time in the video, I want them to be super shiny like this. So since I have animate on, it just automatically makes a keyframe because I switch the settings. So it will look something, if that makes sense. Just because I switch the settings, it automatically makes a keyframe. So see, and it kind of did that. It was actually, I wasn't actually thinking it would do that, but this some effects like that will do something like that. Let's give a better example. Let's keep this at 4. Keep this at 4. So at this, okay, so I'm actually gonna make the effect go down. So it should fade down because there's a keyframe, like the pan and crop. So everything in the middle, remember what I said about the keyframes? Everything in the middle. So right here I have the effect on, correct? It's like super powerful, and at this keyframe, it's not there. So everything in the middle is the effect draining down because I put the boost down, which is settings in the effect. So it should gradually go down, which it does. But you see how it's kind of laggy? It's because I didn't shift preview. That's what it's talking about. With the more effects you have, the more laggy it gets. But you can see as it does go down gradually, which is what I wanted. Now say there's an effect and you don't want it to go down gradually. There's two ways to do it. Like everything, let's put a different effect on. Let's say, oh, that's another thing. So let's say if I have an effect on, and this is checkmark, then the effect will be there. So if I go to beginning, the effect is there, correct? But if I uncheck this, none of this will affect the timeline anymore, because if this is unchecked, it won't be on the video or nothing unless this is checked. So always remember it's checked. If you want to get rid of this, like this up here, because sometimes I don't know what effects I want, and I have like honestly like 20 of these effects I'm not using. So just go right here and click remove selected plugin, and it'll remove that. So let's pick, I want to pick an effect that you could use. Let's pick this mirror effect, or actually yeah, let's pick one of these crazy effects. Let's say I want it to be normal, right, until this part right here. Now what I can do is, this is what I forgot to tell you earlier, if you press M on your keyboard, M as in Mariah Carey, then it'll make a marker, and you could type whatever you want. Right? I usually don't type it, but you could like say like crazy effect, dude. So you know that's where the crazy effect goes. So what you can do is, this just helps me put keyframes on or cut the clip, so it just makes it easier, especially when snapping on. So here, let me put this crazy effect on here. This is why I want to show you else. So remember how the keyframes we had to use on the last effect, you had to click animate? This doesn't have animate, if you noticed, but it does have these stopwatches, which is pretty much animate at the same time. Now, but here's the thing, if I click one of these stopwatches and then change it, this will only have a keyframe, and these won't. These will stay the same. So if you want to animate all of these settings at the same time, someone's calling me, sorry, at the same time, then you have to click all of them. Then you'd have to click all of them and then animate them. With the animate button, you could just click animate and then move one thing, and then it'll make a keyframe. But it's just different. You'd understand the more you use it. But yeah, what I was saying with the marker is, say I make a keyframe with this strength one, and I was like, oh my gosh, where did I put the thing? Instead of looking for it, I could just go to the marker, tap it, and then boom, it's automatically right there. And I could just do this. There we go. And you see, I like this too because it has lines, and you could see it goes from the effect to like no effect. So it should be like this. You see? Something like that.
All right,
I'm gonna take that
Pinhead.
effect off. Way you could do it is oh yeah, that's like I was saying. If you don't want it to fade out, you just want it straight up, boom, effect, effect, effect. I don't think it looks good, but some people may. There's two ways to do it. The easiest way, I'm not gonna teach you the hard way. It's with keyframes, the hard way, but the easiest way is just to split the clip, put this effect on, and then put this effect on, and then it'll be a drastic change. You see? That's because these are two different clips with two different effects on them. So if I take that effect off and put this effect, it'll be like this. You see? Effect, effect. But yeah, I don't think that looks good. But you could try it if it's your video. You can do whatever you want. Okay, and so coming close with effects, same idea with keyframing and changing the settings of the effect to make it your own is some transitions. So you know I have these two clips right here, right? And they just jump to each other like that. Let's say I don't like that. So I also taught you about this fading out right here. What I can do is I can either grab this clip and move it this way, and then it'll make a fade. So this clip would be fading out, and this clip would be fading in. So it'll look like this. I think that already looks 100 times better to me. So what it's doing is pretty much getting this opacity from 0 to 100, and this opacity from 100 to 0, and it's doing it in the middle. Now it could also change the different types of fade. So this one would be like, it'll be something like this, and so it's different. It's subtle change, but I can tell. And I don't know if you'd be worried about that, but I can tell. Another thing, say that you want your clip to start here, and you don't want it to be in the middle of a transition. So what you can do is, remember when I said you can make it longer? It's pretty much do the same thing, and then so this is already longer. So this part of this clip is already. So where you wanted to start from was right here. That's where you wanted to start from, and it's going to. That's when the end of the transition is going to be. But the beginning, before the first video, the real video, will be transitioning. If that makes sense. See if you got what I'm saying, right? Hold on one second, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back, and I lost my place to where I was. Anyways, I think I was talking about transitions. So this is a fade. Transitions, they're same as effects, where you can change the settings, and it pretty much transitions from one clip to another clip. So if I go to this transitions page, I get a whole bunch of transitions. These are the Sony Vegas ones. I'll pick a flashy one because I have to go real quick, and then I'll be back. I'll pick the star one. So the same way I like to do it is I grab this star, I grab this same thing, and go to this crossfade and put it there. See, now now the transition will be a star. And same thing is, if I want to change the settings on this, I just click this little double arrow, and then I can change the settings on this. You know, make it blurry, uncheck maintain aspect ratio, vertical flip, vertical mirror, everything. So yeah, that's the transition. I'm just gonna finish with this tutorial real quick. Sorry I can't really get into detail. Something I forgot to mention about effects is if I put an effect on, I'll just mention it right now. So if I put the effect on, this is a timeline. So if you guys know Adobe After Effects or like Premiere or any Adobe product, they work with layers. Sony Vegas kind of does work with layers too. So this is a video layer and this is an audio layer. And pretty much like, dang, I'm gonna have to come back. Pretty much, so this is a video layer. See how it's highlighted? So it's highlighted this whole layer. So if I get an effect like this effect, and then don't put it on this clip or this clip, and I put it on the layer or the layer right here, then everything in this layer will be affected with this effect. Do you see? But if I make a new layer with right click, insert new video track, move one of these up, they're not affected because it's only this layer that's affected with the effect. That's where I think I forgot to mention that, but yeah. Media generators, and then I'll go. Alright, I'll just do this and then I'll be right back again. So media generators, what they are is, first thing you want to do if you want to use them is right click, and then you can insert generate media or insert text media, or just insert a video track, go to media generators, and you have all these media generators. You have, you know, credits, we have clouds. You won't have these because these are my plugins. You'd have this media generators, titles and text, which is pretty much text. If I put like what up, homeboy, with this I could like change the color of this. I can change it to pink if I want, and then you can see in the preview I can make this into the middle. I could put this at 120 or maybe 47. What up, homeboy? I could change the font, but I could just click this, or with it highlighted I could just use the arrow keys. That's a media generator, and pretty much these count as same clips as well. So these count as clips as well. So the program sees them as clips. They just were made in the program. So if I go to my project media, you'll see that it's in my project. It's in Sony Vegas. So the same thing is, I can also use transitions and effects on these media generators. So if I also have solid colors, by the way, if you want like a red. So if I want red to transition into what up, homeboy,
Alright, Pinhead.
it looked pretty weird, right? But I could put a video effect, so I'm gonna put an effect on the word homeboy, and then that's what it looks like.
Time is
Actually looks
up.
pretty tight. Looks
Time is
different.
up. Alright,
And then if I want to
Pinhead.
transition, I could get a heart transition, put it here, and it's gonna transition from red to
Alright,
what a
Pinhead.
homeboy.
You're alright.
And that's just media generators, so they're pretty much clips, you could say. They're media generated in Sony Vegas. That's why they call them media generators. Okay guys, sorry, I'll be back again, and I'll teach you the song. I'll teach you like sound and like music and stuff, and then the render process. BRB, homeboys. Alright guys, I'm back. It's been like 4 hours, but anyway, I think I just showed you media generators, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, then Next thing I have is rendering, I guess. So let's say you're done with your video, you're done with editing, and you're happy with your product. So the way you make it into a movie, the way you render it, it's called rendering, is first you want to do best full, and then you want to go to file, render as. Also, I forgot to mention, I highlighted this part like I did in the preview. Like you're gonna preview it, like you're gonna preview the whole video. Just highlight it again, just in case, and click File, Render As. And then you're gonna get all these options. If you're trying to render a video, I just stick with main concept MP4. You could search on YouTube, best Sony Vegas render settings for YouTube, best anything. It's gonna be different render settings if you're making like a Vine or something. Like I said before, different settings for everything. So I'm just gonna make a. I'm gonna click Internet HD 1080, and that's in main concept, AVC, AAC, MP4, and go to Internet HD 1080. Then up here you're gonna see your folder. That's where it's gonna go into. So if you click Browse, you could navigate your folders, and then go to the folder you want. Sorry, you guys see all my stuff. And then this is the folder I want to be in. I could change the name in here. I'm gonna be like tutorial Coolio or something. Anything you want. It's your video. Then it would change the name here. You could also change the name here if you want. And that's pretty much it. You just click render, and then it'll go render. The reason why it says good full here is because the render settings, it renders in good full. If you want best full, you just need to change your render settings up. Again, just search up on YouTube best Sony Vegas render settings, and then you'll be good. Now I'm gonna show you the general mistakes people have. There's not a lot of really mistakes anymore with the new Sony Vegases. There were like in past Sony Vegases, but the new ones aren't a lot. But I'll show you just like user mistakes you can fix. Alright. So a lot of the mistakes are, especially in the newer versions of Vegas, are like user mistakes. You know, let's say you deleted your project media tab, and you're freaking out like, okay, where's my project media? Like I can't do nothing without it. You just to fix this problem, you just go to I think I said it before. You just go to View, Window, and then Project Media, and then it should pop up right here with all your media stuff. If it oh, it's actually not even in it. Yeah, see, sometimes you'll do this by accident, and like you're gonna be like, okay, there's a window. It's my project media window, but it's outside and I can't. It's not going back in here. It's pretty annoying. So what you do to fix this is actually hold down Control, and then put it in here, and let go, and then it should be in here. So now you have all your tabs and everything. Another thing is with this Vegas, this might happen. So you're like working on your edit and everything, and then this might happen, and then you're like, okay, what happened? Honestly, I have no idea what this is for. But I know how to get out of it. Is this red bar right here. You just double click that, and then you're good. Yeah, those are pretty much the most popular mistakes. The most popular mistakes in Sony Vegas, as in like software, user-based wise, not editing wise. Well, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Like and comment if you subscribe. This channel is only dedicated to tutorials now, so I'm only doing tutorials. If you want to see like my skits and stuff, that's gonna be I'm gonna make another channel, which I already did, but I just need to upload it and everything. And then I'm gonna make another gaming channel, and then that's where all the gaming stuff is. But this channel is just for tutorials only. So subscribe if you liked it. This was okay. I'll bring another tutorial. I'll probably do one right now actually, soon enough. So alright then, guys. Peace out, home skillets.